What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. There's nothing major going on in the news this week except for, we all know the demon rats are out to dismantle and destroy America piece by piece. They've already started with several things. They just got the 1 trillion stimulus package passed, which literally has nothing to do with the China virus. It's about giving foreign countries money, our money, which they don't need. It's a buyout. Biden is basically paying China to take over, and he's selling out America. The demon rat, or the rich elite, the puppet masters. Biden's just a face. We all know that. But anyways, like I said, the stimulus package had nothing to do with giving relief to Americans for the China virus. It was trying to get things passed that the demon rats wanted so they can get more power in destroying America. Anyways, that's not really the main thing I wanted to talk about today. You gotta understand that I am just your normal, average Joe American. I generally give facts and truth on particular entertainment mostly, and then I give my own opinion on it as well. I don't write a script, and I don't go edit out through the whole freaking movie and put little cut scenes of the movies on my videos. I might do some commentary over old movie trailer, but that's about it. So what you're getting from me is genuine. It's not a bunch of, like a lot of other YouTubers who methodically take their time and they write material that go along with their commentaries instead of just putting out there and giving their opinion. And they make the videos a little too long, in my opinion, sometimes. And 90% of the time, especially your list channels, there's several list channels that'll put out, the best or the worst of this or that, and it's just a matter of speculation, their own opinion, and they usually get it wrong anyway. But enough of that. Let's talk about the first topic I want to talk about, which is basically I went and watched the movie called Monster Hunter. It just came out not long ago. I just got done watching it this past week. Here's my opinion on Monster Hunter. I know it's based off a video game that the majority of people have never even heard of. You've got to be pretty hardcore gamer to ever heard of this game. Even most gamers that I've talked to, and yes, I know quite a few gamers, they've never even heard of this. So this is I didn't know anything about it going into it because nobody knew anything about it. I could have looked it up and done some research on it, but it's not a game I'm ever going to play, so why bother? Now, this movie stars Milla Jovovich, which it stands the reason why she would be. She did the Resident Evil movies, which they're all getting rebooted because, number one, they didn't follow the storyline. Paul Anderson, which is the director and writer, he completely went off the story with the Resident Evil series, and now he's this writer and director of this movie Monster Hunter. And Milla Jovovich just happens to be his wife. So go figure, she stars in the movie. Now, I like Milla Jovovich. I think she's a great actress, but it stands to reason why she got the part. Anyways, Paul does not explain anything really in this movie, except for supposedly there's an ancient civilization that disappeared in this other world, the monster world. They built this tower that allowed them to cross in between several different worlds, one of them being ours, kind of like a gateway. Anyway, since they've been gone, it's been screwing up. Now, they built these monsters, or genetically made them, to guard the gate. One of them being something called a Rathos, which is like this giant reptilian dragon-like thing. But basically, the main, and that's literally all you get. The main story is Milla Jovovich plays this captain of a military unit, which you get all the names of the military unit right off the bat. You don't get any of the names of anybody from the monster world. Like, they never mention their names whatsoever. But anyways, that was one big complaint I had. The story basically is, you have this military unit who's looking for, who is Alpha Team, looking for Bravo Team. Bravo Team has been eliminated, which they eventually find pretty close at the beginning of the movie. And then they find these stones that look like an airplane runway. It's kind of ridiculous, out in the middle of nowhere in this desert. But there's this magnetic sandstorm that comes on them, and it ends up sending them to the alternate world, the monster world. Well, pretty much the entire team, military team, gets wiped out except for Milla Jovovich. As she runs across this other guy who's stranded on this kind of like rocky oasis. Everything else is sand, where there's a big monster just waiting in the sand for him. Anyways, they figure a way to get past the monster into this other oasis across the sand dunes, which holds the tower, or is pretty close to the tower. She meets this, the guy that she's with. She meets his crew. The captain is the only one who speaks English. He studied it because apparently, she's not the first one from our world to cross over. And that's something to do with our ancestors somehow had something to do with the gate screwing up to alternate worlds. 80% of the monster world has been pretty much wiped out. But anyways, Milla Jovovich, she decides to team up with the monster hunters, which is the crew. Again, you don't hear anybody's name. Nobody tells you their names. They have one alien type character, which is this walking, talking cat with like an eye patch. It's kind of dumb. It's pretty stupid. Anyways, I think he might have mentioned his name, but other than that, nobody. You don't know anybody else's name on the crew. Not even the guy that she befriends. Anyways, she agrees to help them take out the tower. They get close to the tower. They end up having to fight one of them Rathos, the Guardians, the Dragon Guardian. She ends up back in our world with the help of her buddy who travels back with her. They destroy the Rathos or dragon, whatever. Well, the captain also traveled back. And apparently, they got to go back so they can defeat the tower. And it leads off with another dragon coming to attack them. And that's the end of the movie. This movie, as far as I'm concerned, was kind of lame. It's okay for an action movie, because that's the scenes all Paul can get right is the action. The story is just completely bonkers. It makes no sense. It's kind of stupid and lame. I didn't really care for the monsters. It's like they're like Godzilla size. And you got these little tiny humans going around killing. It's just dumb. Anyways, I don't really recommend this movie. It's not really that good. I mean, it's okay for an action flick. If you want to waste some time, I give it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It's alright. Not that great. I don't know if there's actually going to be a sequel or not. Apparently this movie bombed pretty bad at the box office. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, let's move on to your B-movie reviews. What's up, Movieholics? Let's get on to your B-movie reviews or cult classics. This week is Fantasy Week. Now, there are usually, when it comes to fantasy movies or even sci-fi, you know, you could either intermix the two, actually, because some can be considered sci-fi, some can be considered fantasy. There are a few subgenres of this particular genre that I tend to usually overlook. I don't usually watch and review them. But I kind of need to start doing it. The first one is, you know, your animation or your cartoons. I don't care for cartoons. You know, I did when I was a kid, I liked them, but I'm not a big cartoon fan. Very rarely will you see me watch a cartoon. I'm just not really into it. The second one is your whimsical fantasies, the ones that have a lot of comedy in them. Again, I don't mind like romantic comedies with fantasy, whimsical crap in it. I'm just not a big fan of them. They're okay. And then the last one is your superhero movies. Because superhero movies, a lot of them fall in sci-fi and a lot of them fall in fantasy. So you don't know really which one to put them in. Right now, it's just like, that's all Hollywood wants to put out lately is freaking, you know, superhero movies. Even on television, you know, it gets old pretty quick. Um, However, this week I have gone with the superhero route. Uh, Now, again, it could also be considered sci-fi, but I tend to think superhero movies tend to fall more on fantasy than they do sci-fi. Just a tad. Now, this week I decided to go ahead and watch the very first Superman movie. Now, this came out when I was, like 3 years old or so. So I was really little when this came out. I'm not, maybe, let's see. Yeah, about when I was like three or 4 years old. It was done in 1978. It made about 134 million worldwide, which at that time, 1970, that was really good. I mean, really good. It starred Christopher Reeve, of course, and Gene Hackman played Lex Luthor. And the leading lady, of course, Lois Lane, was Margaret Kidder. Now, if you want a this is my problem with most of the superhero movies today. The first being, they seem to do a few of them and then they reboot it or remake it, and they change everything again, and it gets dumb, it's lame, and it's stupid, and they need to stop doing that. With this one pretty much does the origin story correct. It sets the precedence of all superhero movies to come. If you want an origin story done right, this is the way you do it. You go based off the source material, whereas the movies today, they keep rebooting them, redoing the origin stories, and they're nothing like the actual story in the comics. They go way off because the newer directors and writers today think they can just do it so much better, or they get lazy and they say, oh, it's just an alternate universe, and it's fucking retarded and it needs to stop. This movie shows you how to do an actual origin story. Now, it's done right. This movie is about 3 hours long. It's a very long ass movie. But if you want an actually good superhero movie, I suggest you watch it. I highly recommend Superman, the original movie done in 1978. You will be quite impressed. In fact, I was quite impressed with most of the special effects. They really didn't have CGI back then, and for what they did, it was actually pretty impressive, some of the special effects. I definitely give the special effects a solid 4. They did excellent. The story was excellent, 4 on that. The acting was really good. You have some top-notch actors in this. I'll give it a 4. I definitely recommend this movie. Now, I did have a few complaints. Basically the movie is about the origins of Superman, how he came to Earth and, was raised by foster parents who found him, which was kind of weird. You'd think the U.S. would have been tracking like falling, meteorites or some crap like that. You would have thought that, someone in the military would have found or caught wind of this, but apparently not. Anyways, the first thing was, I don't know what the deal was with whoever's idea was to make the Krypton suits, like super bright white, like that, where the reflective light. Oh my God, it drove my eyes nuts. That's crazy. It didn't need to be like that. And they're all wearing the same outfit, just with a different symbol for their houses. Whatever. And you know, they shouldn't have done that. Apparently, Superman or Krypton is made of ice, and they all live in ice cities, which I thought was kind of weird, but whatever. At the very beginning of the movie, yeah, they had already figured out what they were going to do for the sequel, so they expected a sequel out of this already, because at the very beginning, you know, it shows them set up Superman 2 by, you know, imprisoning General Zod and his followers. So they already knew they were going to make a sequel to this. They figured it'd do pretty well, and it did. There's one scene that you see fairly early on, is that Clark Kent is a little bit older than Lois Lane, because you see her on the train, and she sees him running alongside the train, and she's, I don't know, she's probably about anywhere between 10 and 12 years old, and he's like 18, so you know he's a little bit older than her. In these movies, Lex Luthor, which is played by Gene Hackman, great actor, he's not head of like this huge company called LexCorp Corporation. It's not like that. He is basically a criminal mastermind. He's a genius. But he's not like this scientist who's in charge of a huge multi-billion-dollar company. That comes later on in the later, you know, television and movies. He didn't start out. The character didn't start out that way. They changed him. There is a scene where he helps this little girl with this cat. It was kind of cheesy. It was a little bit cringy. But, you know, the whole cat in the tree bit was just a little silly. Now, in this version, Lex Luthor also has this idiot named Otis who helps him pretty much do everything for him, like physically wise and stuff. You know, he orders him around and has him do, he's like his little slave, and he's dumber than a box of rocks. So that's different too. However, there's one scene that really drove me crazy. He turns, you know, flies backwards and causes the Earth to rotate backwards on its axis, change time. It goes back in time a little bit. But then when he moves it forward again, none of them events that basically when the rocket hit the Earth and caused the fault line to break, it didn't, none of that seemed to have happened, which made no sense, you know, because the rocket had already taken off. He didn't stop it the second time around, but yet nothing happened. And he did it to save Lois Lane because she dies the first time around. So it made no sense. She doesn't even get a rock slide towards her when she stops the car. That you know, and it causes her to go into the earthquake or and get crushed. So it made no sense. That part made no sense whatsoever. You know, it was like nothing had happened, which again, it doesn't work. So that part of the movie made no sense. Other than that, I give this movie 2 thumbs up. I highly recommend it. Check it out. Let's move on to the second one, which is Superman 2. which I already said they set that up. In this one, basically a nuclear explosion that he helps Superman pushes off into space, blows up, breaks the Phantom Zone prison, and the three escapees, General Zod and his two cohorts, they get out. They terrorize people on the planet until Superman comes to fight them. He eventually tricks them and then defeats them. You get a rehash of like a good portion of the first part of the movie, which retells this, gives like a little review of what happened in the first movie. So that takes a little bit to get through. There's one scene that kind of bugged me. You know, when he's trying to save Lois, when she jumps in the water to prove he's Superman or whatever, he doesn't jump in to save her or fly to save her or anything. He doesn't change into Superman. He stays as Clark Kent. Here's the problem though. When he shoots his eye beams out through his glasses, it doesn't harm the glasses. Like, they don't melt or anything when he shoots the eye beam to shoot a branch off to help save her and get out of the water, which is a personal goof on their part. He literally shoots his eye beams right through the eyeglasses. It should have melted him. And towards the end of this movie, they already knew that they were going to do a third one, because it literally tells you that the third one's coming out soon. This one actually starred the same people. You know, you just had a few extras on there, you know, Zod and his crew. This one was done in 1980, and it made about 190 million. Way better than the first one. This one kicked ass at the box office. A huge success. Probably the best of all the Superman movies by far. I definitely highly recommend this one. This one was really great to watch. 2 thumbs up. Definitely check out Superman 2. It is the best superhero movie probably out of most superhero movies, because it set the standard for what was to come. The acting's a 4. The CGI, special effects, again, a 4 for what they had to work with. It was really good. I give it a solid 4 for the story. The story was amazing. You know, basically he's just fighting Zod and his crew. Really great movie. Check it out. It gets a 4 overall. Highly recommend this movie. 2 thumbs up. Anyways, that's all I have for you this week. If you have any suggestions of some gems I might have missed, please leave them down in the comments down below. I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. If you have any thoughts on, you know, the Monster Hunter movie, please leave them down in the comments down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.